In this example, we're going to use the equation 3x cubed plus 6x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. One possible rearrangement of this is x is minus 3/5 x cubed plus 2x squared minus 1, giving us the iteration formula xn plus 1 is equal to minus 3/5 times xn cubed plus 2 times xn squared minus 1. We can see the root here, close to x equals 0.4. But bearing in mind what we said at the end of the last example, look how steep the curve is in the region of the root. If we start to iterate, using 0.5 as our start point, we get 0.225, and we use this as our next input. So we go across using 0.225 as our next x value and evaluate. We then use this as our next input and evaluate. And you can see we're forming a cobweb, but instead of spiraling in towards the root, we actually spiral outwards. So this iteration would fail to find our root. We have seen this type of behavior in one of our earlier examples. We started an iteration close to a root, and the iteration went and found a different root. I don't know whether or not this one is going to go and find another root. It may do this, or it may fail. A different rearrangement may well have found this root. As we've said, the crucial thing is the gradient in the vicinity of the root. If we can find an arrangement of this, which gives us a g function, which has a shallow gradient between -1 and 1 in this region, then it will find this root. The cobweb is not the only pattern. We'll see another pattern called the staircase in our next example. But it's important to realize how these patterns are built. We know the x0 value was 0.5. So we started at 0.5. We then evaluate the function. This output value will then become our next input value. So to use this output as our next input, we go across to the line y equals x. Remember, the y value here is 0.225, so if we go directly across, that means this x coordinate is 0.225. We use that as the next input and get 0.532 and so on. So that's this line here. We want to use this value as our next input, so we go across to y equals x, so the x coordinate here is 0.5324. We then evaluate and continue to repeat the process. This is how the cobweb is built.